Our next presenter is also a long-term resident, not born here in Memphis, but came to Memphis. He is also a writer and a good storyteller as well. And he's an Uptown resident, but he kind of lived in a few places and has seen a lot of change in the neighborhood as well. So you guys give it up for Chris Davis.
I'm really jealous of everybody who came up in here and just, spoke off the cuff. Because I'm just incapable of doing that. This is probably way overwritten, and I apologize for that on the front end. But I'm a theater writer, so I've got to start with Shakespeare. Shakespeare describes lightning as this bright flash that in a spleen unfolds both the heaven and the earth, and ere a man hath the power to say, behold, the jaws of darkness do devour it up. It's here, and then it's invisible. It's like fireworks. And this story is about fireworks, but it's got a long fuse and a slow burn, and I hope you'll just hang with me while I get through it. For a lot of years, most of my adult life really, people have described me as an urban pioneer. This is Chris. He's an urban pioneer. Meanwhile, I'm over here thinking, I don't even know what that means. Am I like Daniel Boone in Skechers with a 10-speed instead of a mule? I mean, it kind of made a little bit of sense to me when I moved to South Front in the really early 90s because almost nobody lived back there back then. I mean, it was just me and my wife Charlotte and Sybil Shepherd and a hobo couple that lived under the railroad bridge. And we never saw Sybil, but the hobo couple came to say goodbye when we moved out, and they thanked us for being good neighbors with good trash, which they described as being life-improving trash. And that was really humbling, because back then we thought we were living hand-to-mouth. Then we moved to Greenlaw, and the people who'd been calling me an urban pioneer, they kept calling me an urban pioneer. They kept saying, this is my friend Chris, he lives in Greenlaw, he's an urban pioneer, but how can I be a pioneer if Greenlaw was settled? It was one of Memphis's oldest communities. It had been continuously occupied. There was more life in any one block in Greenlaw than any place I'd ever lived in the 901. And what I realized is that it was just life that the folks who called me an urban pioneer, and these were good folks. They were good folks. But it was the kind of life that the people who called me that were not capable of seeing. For them, it was a neighborhood of invisible men, of invisible women, invisible families, invisible businesses, invisible hustles, invisible heartaches. But it wasn't invisible to me, at least not anymore. I mean, how could you miss little Fred? Little Fred who went off to glory in a magnificent purple hearse with an inspirational message in the rearview mirror that said, "Never die." I think about the epic fireworks. I'm so screwing this thing up right now.
You can hold it, yeah.
I want to do that. I think about the epic fireworks show that got put on every year in Little Fred's memory. Every 4th of July for years, fireworks that rivaled with anything going on downtown by the riverside. It was a pyrotechnic display that drew thick crowds. It shut down the whole corner of Union 6 for the whole night, straight on until morning. And if the cops even showed up, they just turned around and left. Nobody was shutting down Little Fred's show, not for nothing. Invisible people like Tom Jones, a.k.a. Junebug. Junebug who had a drinking problem and mental health issues and who would sometimes get into shouting matches with the telephone poles in the middle of the night. Junebug who sometimes needed a little help getting back to the shack where he lived with his sister who took care of him, until they moved away and the shack was torn down. Invisible men like Julius, don't call me Frulius Yancey, who rented a room for Miss Liz on 5th and rang my doorbell one day wearing a plush gold tracksuit suit I still covet. He said that he and I were about to become best friends, and I guess he knew something I didn't, because after that the two of us were thick and always getting into something together. I miss Mr. Yancey, and I miss his girlfriend Julia, who lived in an apartment with walls that looked like they were made out of mold, where running water only came in a trickle from the bathroom sink. Julia, who wouldn't complain about any of this for fear of losing the best place she'd had to live in a long, long time. Invisible men like my closest neighbors, both named Roy. Roy number 1, who ran an underground beer and dice joint out in the county, and his wife Ruby, who'd been a nurse's assistant. And they were doing okay until her stroke left the family vulnerable. Roy number 2 was a shade mechanic with a great loving son named Joseph and a wife named Jackie. She was a retired office worker who eventually lost the home she stopped being able to keep after Roy number 2 died awfully from cancer. Painful cancer that started in his stomach and spread all over. Cancer he gutted out without pain medication or proper medical care because there just wasn't any money for anything. On the night I was born, 51 years ago last week, the house across the street was fireworks. It was a different kind of fireworks than the show Greenlaw used to come from Little Fred. Detroit, where I come from, originally was on fire. They called it a race riot that was sparked by police overreach when they raided a joint called the Blind Pig. By the time my mom went to labor, the city was burning, literally and metaphorically. A tank was blocked the access to Dearborn, bullets popped, sirens screamed. I understand why my family left Detroit and city life behind for the tiny agricultural town in Middle Tennessee where I grew up. Good people, my folks. Good people in that town. But it wasn't me. I don't remember the night I was born or the chaos. I only remember a lifelong desire to get back to a place like the one we left. A place where kids played in the street, where you could sit on your porch and talk to neighbors. Music was everywhere, and fireworks. Sorry, some of the people who were gone were really close to me. I've been living in my current house for a few years when the kids in the apartment building across the street lit some fireworks on the kitchen stove and caught the place on fire. 4 or 5 of the 7 or 8 children who lived there were locked inside. The security door was locked. The rest of the kids were their mom who had taken the bus to see a doctor. I was working from home when I heard the sirens and ran outside. The 2 Roys came bursting through the smoke, pulling kids with them. They spotted the fire early but couldn't open the door. Thankfully, an MLGW worker stopped. He had a crowbar in his truck, and together the 3 of them started to rescue the Memphis Fire Department would bravely finish, hauling the last kid out as the fire lapped at their heels. No children died that day. The MLGW guy drove off with his crowbar. The 2 Roys faded into the crowd that included Junebug and Steve Martin and Boo, who loaned me his ladder that time I locked myself out of the house with a pot cooking on the stove and had to break in the upstairs window. Mr. Julius, don't call me Julius, Yancey was there, and Miss Liz and Miss Ann and Miss Gladys, who feeds all the stray cats in the neighborhood, and Leo the baker, and Tony from down the street who went to Humes and knows all of Memphis' original gangster walkers. Roy number 3, who works at the YMCA, and his brother Ernest, who everybody calls Shoeshine because he hustle shines on Beale. The media arrived last on the scene, where they met exhausted firefighters and a charming but raggedy vagrant who had worked his way to the front of the crowd and was telling everybody he'd stand still long enough a completely made-up story about how he'd saved the children. Said he summoned up all of his strength and kicked in an outward opening security door. Every TV news station quoted him. The commercial he even ran an editorial about the North Memphis homeless man who became a hero, proving once and for all that homeless people are heroes too, or something like that. The Roys are both gone now, but the burning apartment building I rushed into was saved and restored. It's occupied, and over the 4th of July weekend I met the father of a new tenant. He was a musician, and he was excited for his daughter. I don't know why that's upsetting. This is happy. He was excited for his daughter because he'd always wanted to live downtown, and he said he was going to live vicariously through her. And I said, we're uptown, and he said that was close enough. And he said that a chain of fireworks went off, and the poor boy just about jumped out of his skin. And I said, it's quirky, but it's good. In the Japanese Shinto faith, they have ancestor worship. And part of that includes people setting off fireworks, literally to wake the dead, to get their attention before showing appreciation. And I think about that when I hear the fizz and pop on New Year's or the 4th of July, when everyone else is freaking out and saying, I wish that would stop, I wish it would go away, when people are making the horrible as that guns or firework jokes. I think about that. I think about the people who are gone, the ones who are dead, the ones who were just gone. I think about Hurt Village. I even think about the Trail of Tears markers they've erected out on A.W. Willis. And on those rowdy, noisy nights, I bike around the neighborhood. And the lights go on, and the lights go off, and the lights go on, and the lights go off. And I see families that have lived in the area for generations, and faces that have just shown up. I marvel at the progress, and I worry about the people who are here first. Because here's the thing about being invisible. When you disappear, nobody notices. That's it.